Well, good gravy! What is happening? Duplicants, Fox is back! Yes, it's been a very long time since I played Oxygen Not Included. There have been a ton of updates, but most important of all is the spaced out premium DLC. It is a paid DLC, but it apparently adds an absolute ton to the game. Just totally, flips things on its head. I've poked in just to see kind of the basics of it, and I'm just like, wow, everything looks quite a bit different. I'm a little sad that I spent so much time away from Oxygen Not Included, but I am back, and hopefully, we can all just get right back into it. I have a feeling I'm gonna have to relearn a lot of concepts, but first, I said I would finish up Oceania, and I've decided let's at least get the sauna up and running. That was the last thing that I really wanted to do, so see you there. All right, and here we are. I said I would at least finish up Oceania, and we had the one thing that I wanted to do. I was going to build the accomplished shrine, but I think the most important thing is getting the sauna. Now, I'm going to force everyone to use the sauna by putting everybody on this new schedule over here, which is to say the break schedule. So let's just get everybody on this schedule. That way everyone is gonna start using recreational things. And yep, gotta get everyone in here. It's time for everyone. Here we go. Let's slow down. Oh yeah, look at that. He's using the steam. Oh, wait, what happened? Why did he end it so quick? Now, yeah, get back inside. Everyone just gets to relax. It's like, this is the... Let's go to medium speed. Why are you getting out? Just get back. Oh, he's hungry. That's the problem. How much steam is left? Okay, there's plenty of steam in there. We shouldn't need any more steam. Just get in there and eat. Okay, we got someone in here. Zen Master is using the sauna. Okay, come on, use the whole thing. There we go. He's using it. He's going for it. He's going for the full thing. And there we go. He is gonna get it. Wiped his face. He's got the steam-powered buff. So this is how the machine works. I admit I'm not super happy with the design of the machine. I just wanted to get it up and running. So the way it works is we've got a line that is taking water into here, and this place here, it gets very hot. And you can see the temperature is 455 degrees, and that's because of the raining meteors. The meteors come in very hot. These are made out of metal, and that means that they conduct the heat. The heat from the meteors comes right into this room, and then this room is dropping out all of the water, which immediately turns into steam because look, it's like almost 500 degrees in here, and so this pumps the steam in insulated pipes down all the way through here. This is like a vacuum chamber. The vacuum, it's not technically a vacuum chamber, but it's like the gas is so thin that there's not a lot of heat transfer. And then it goes into this gas reservoir, which is where the steam is. And the gas reservoir is sitting on top of these mesh tiles because mesh tiles count as a vacuum. And that means that the tank will not, the steam in the tank won't transfer heat with whatever it's sitting on top of. That's like pretty much the only way to do it from my knowledge. And what it does is feed in the steam into the sauna. The sauna needs about 50 kilograms of steam, and each one of these little the full big block is 1 kilogram of gas. These blocks here are half kilograms, so it can fit about 100 of these half kilograms of gas into the sauna, and then the sauna powers up, gives the person their relaxation, and then the heat from the sauna goes back into becoming water because it cools down, and then it dumps the water down into here, and that's perfectly fine because this is the water from the hot tub, so the water from the hot tub needs to be hot to begin with, so the steam becomes water and then gets added into the hot tub. And that's how it works. like I said, it's probably not, it's not ideal because the steam does lose temperature over time, and eventually we might have the problem of a steam leak in here, and that would be really nasty to have like a steam leak, but whatever. That's the most important thing is you got to see the steam machine, and I feel like we can finally say that the Oceania playthrough is done the objective to explore all of the water things. Anyways, on with the show. And we are back. So yeah, we're going to be playing on the DLC, and I know it's on because it says right here, deactivate the DLC. We're not going to be doing that though. Anyways, if you are interested in more Oxygen Not Included content, make sure you tune in because I am keeping an eye on the viewership on all my videos, and if the videos aren't getting like the best viewership, that tells me that you guys are bored and you don't want to watch this anymore. That's okay. Don't feel pressured to watch any particular video that you're not interested in. It's just that if the viewership is no good, I will find something else you guys do want to watch. That said, viewership for Oxygen Not Included was pretty good previously, so hopefully I can recapture that. But anyways, we're gonna click the Spaced Out DLC because we definitely want to try the new stuff. And okay, so this is what I can tell you that I do know. The Spaced Out DLC is about a cluster of small asteroids, and apparently you can build multiple bases on multiple asteroids, and I guess you can have different kinds of asteroid clusters or something like that. Like I said, I really don't know too much about it, but because I just want to stick with the basic one. This is Terrania, and I think this is just like, I don't know, it seems like the basic one. So I guess we're starting on the Terrania, and then there's going to be closer asteroids, irradiated forest, oily swamp, and then the farther ones, you've got tundra, marshy, moo, water, superconductive, regolith asteroid, just whatever. I have no idea. I'm not even going to pretend like I understand any of this. Okay, now if you have not played Oxygen Not Included, the first thing you do, actually very similar to State of Decay, is you're going to pick your first 3 characters, and we can re-roll them and flip them to get different traits. But the one thing that's good is we do have some control over it, and so we can go here and we can pick where one of their interests, one of their skills will always be the one that we choose. So I always want at least one researcher. I always want someone who is into probably digging or building. I'm probably going to flip them in so they're both. So let's get someone who has experience with digging, because there's a lot of digging, and I want to flip them multiple times until we get someone with digging and oh, look at this. That's perfect. They've got digging and building. That's really good. And then the last person, well, we'll flip this person too. I want more than just research. Research and building is okay. The last skill, though, that I want is probably ranching, so that we can get the food going. Ranching. And I'm going to flip this character into ranching and farming. And I will be right back, though, because sometimes that can take a moment. Okay, and we are back. So, also, I can change the names of the characters, so you guys can apply to have a duplicant named after you. A lot of the duplicants will be named after the people who are, like, financially contributing to the channel, but probably for every 2 contributors, I will have one random person that, like, I don't recognize. But, yeah. I'm not going to change any of their names yet because I haven't even posted the video yet. I'll be collecting names, though, so I will be able to change them into the character names of your choosing, and I'll probably name them after your YouTube names. Anyways, first up, we've got temporary name Mima, who is a research and doctoring. That's perfectly good. They're a plant murderer. That's not a big deal. It means that they're not good at farming, but this person's just going to do farming to begin with. Hassan, temporary name, has digging, building, and doctoring, which is... actually, we don't need 2 doctors, do we? I might change that. We'll take a look at that in a moment. And then he's biohazardous. That's not too big of a deal. Then we do have Mary, who has farming and ranching. Let me go ahead and flip, probably Mima real fast. Or not, I decided to flip Hassan into Lyra, who has digging and building. Now, she has 1 less skill, but that just means the 2 skills she does have are even stronger because they're not spread out as much. She has caregiver and small bladder. That does mean she'll have to, like, use the bathroom more often. It's not really that big of a deal. Doesn't matter. None of these are traits that bother me that much. Let's call this base Fox's Doomed Expedition. There we go, because I have no idea what I'm doing, but I'm hitting the button. And here we are. Alert! The asteroid we call home has collided with an anomalous planet, decimating our colony. Rebuilding it is of the utmost importance. I've detected a new cluster of mineral-rich planetoids in nearby space. If I can guide the duplicants through the perils of space travel, we can build a colony even bigger and better than before. So that's who these are. These are the duplicants. I will assume you guys have no idea how to play this game. That's how I will be describing it. And, the first thing I'm going to do is pause the game with the space bar, and I like to use shortcuts because shortcuts are great. So G is the digging button. Let me just kind of cut this into a nice little square, and I'm going to use tab to speed the game up. When you first play the game, you'll probably want to play at a slow speed because it can get rather overwhelming. But what I see now is we have this heavy layer of igneous rock. This igneous rock kind of is the boundaries of what you might consider like the tutorial area. And so what I want to do is begin building rooms. Rooms need to be a certain size. Need is maybe too strong of a word, but let me see if we can get about 16. Oh, that's perfect. Okay, so this is going to be a room right here. And how do I know it's going to be a room? Well, it's 16 by 4 is about the size of your small class room. And that doesn't include, that's just the interior space. It doesn't include the exterior. And the exterior, I'm going to go ahead and put one here in the kind of the corners of this is like the floor. This is basically where the floor is going to be. In fact, I kind of want them to, no, let's just go like this. Now, I'm leaving 2 spots here because I'm going to have a ladder and a pole so that they are able to more easily travel. And once again, I'm just using these little, well, eventually these little walkways, or this is like, so tile is like your basic base building. It's like, it's just there to, let's go into maximum speed. The purpose of tile is to give your base a shape. It's basically the walls, the floor, and stuff like that. And I'm just using it to mark the where the doors would be. They're basically the outer frame of the building. Because like I said, a 16 by 4 tall, 16 wide is going to be our standard small building size. A little bit of a cave-in. Sand is affected by gravity. That's not a big deal though. Okay, the next thing we're going to do is build outhouses. So I want 4. Because our first threat is pooping everywhere except where we need to. And then we're going to have wash basins, 4 of them. Now you can see why I built it in a 16 by 4. There are more specific reasons than this, but 16 by 4, it perfectly fits 4 outhouses and 4 wash basins. So let's go ahead. Let's not overload our duplicants with orders either. We don't want to confuse them. So just like a few things at a time. And we do need to get water. And I want to try to do this before, so this thing is rotating like a clock. That darker wedge is nighttime. This needs to be done before nighttime. Okay, so since they're finishing that up, I'm going to start building a ladder downwards. The ladder is important because it lets them climb up and down, and in the event they fall in the water, they will have this nice ladder that will allow them to climb out before they drown. The next thing I'm going to do is change these settings to where I'm going to set the direction to the right, and then I'm going to, what's the copy command? That's the copy. So it's the backslash. So now that applies it to all of them. The next thing I'm going to do is hit P, and I'm going to set the priority of these to 8, meaning it's a very, basically, the duplicants do their jobs based on priority, and I want to make sure that this is a very high priority. Like, this cannot be skipped. And the next thing we're going to do is build this here. This is a pump because the reason we have this little red warning icon is because it's telling it doesn't have water. You can't wash your hands without water. So we're pumping this in. And it looks like we're going to be fine. Now, why did I set the bathrooms up in this manner? Well, let me give them... Okay, so basically, if they poop and then they eat their own poop. And then they get poop sick. So what I've done is that when they go poop, they have no choice but to go to the left now, and that means they have to use this wash basin, because the rule of the wash basin is the direction you pass in determines whether you use it or not. And I've made it so that if they're approaching from the right side, they don't wash their hands because there's no need to. But if they are leaving the bathroom, they will always wash their hands because, well, they probably just pooped. So while they're sleeping, this is our chance to kind of set some new orders. And I can also begin building the doors. The doors, you know, they're just kind of help to give our base a sense of shape. The platforms that are the tiles, like, they're very sturdy, so, and they're more attractive, like, people like the look of them more. They also make you run a little bit quicker. So like I said, they just serve the function of being the primary building block of your base. Later on, you'll get different kinds of tiles that serve different goals, but this is the basic one. Alrighty. Very nice. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and set this to open, and I'm going to set this one to open, and that's because I just want the doors to stay open. The doors help to... basically, they will assist in having the game consider this a room. It's very important that the game considers this a room, because right now it does not. I can click this little button here, the room overlay, and it's gray, because the game currently doesn't view it as a room. But once it does... and becomes a full-fledged bathroom, the game will then say, okay, if this is like a full-fledged bathroom, you get a morale bonus, because that is the rules of the bathroom. And that's why we're going to now build this layer here of tile, because then it will be fully enclosed, and when it's fully enclosed, actually I'm going to put another door there. We got a specific thing we need to do at this door, though. Open it up. So now we're building the second floor. There are other things we need to be concerned with as well, but this is going to be the living quarters. Then we're probably going to work on oxygen, because this little bit of here, this mineral known as oxalite, is providing us with kind of some early oxygen. But it's it's a temporary thing. It's just kind of like an early game, just also some oxalite down here. That's why I don't need to be too concerned about it. Might punch a hole right here just to let the oxygen flow in a bit better. Alright, so for this door, we are going to make it so that they cannot go... We're clicking this off, and that means that no one is allowed to exit the door, but they're allowed to enter the door. Entombed? Oh, okay, that's a building. It's not one of our... I thought one of our duplicants was entombed. Entombed just means that there was a cave-in, and it was basically like the facility could not be used. Now, we can also open this door up. And since we've clicked this, it just means they're not allowed to exit in that direction. That means that there is no chance that they will poop and then leave in that direction and then eat their own poop, because I won't allow it. But at the same time, if we expand over here, they'll be able to travel through that. Okay, the next thing we're going to do is build another door. This is another base room. Let's go ahead and get some beds. That's under furniture. 1, 2, 3... Just like that. Oh yeah, and so now this should be considered a room. See how this has changed colors? This is now considered a latrine. We can see right there, latrine. It's the same color, and it says it right there that it's a latrine. So we're getting +1 morale, and so the other thing is the maximum size of a latrine is 64, and so 16 times 4 is 64. So this is the biggest that the latrine can possibly be, and that's the other reason why I chose 64 or 4 by 16. Okay, so we are going to start running out of oxygen pretty soon, so this gives us enough time to kind of clean this up. I'm not going to give them too many orders once again, because like that, guys, that will very much overload people. This is the amount of food we have. Our food is currently okay. We do need to start getting a food source ready, but it's not an essential thing at the moment. Now, this is also going to become a room once we seal it. Even though this stuff here is just, this is all copper and stuff, it'll still count as a room. So this is now green because it is a barracks right here, barracks. Maximum size 64 tiles. So once again, that's why I'm doing the 16 by 4. So now we're going to start turning this area. We're going to start drilling in here. My next favorite room size is about 24. Yes, looks like we can go 24. Okay, yeah, why do those are the two room sizes I like. I like 4 by 16 and then, or 16 by 4, 16 wide, 4 tall, and then I like 24 wide, 4 tall. Why 4? The vast majority of the buildings are no taller than, so like this building here is 3, and so, oh wait, is this building 4? Okay, yeah, most buildings are not taller than 4 tiles. Very few buildings are taller than 4. So there's not too much of a need to make things taller than 4, basically. So we are building the exterior of the building. This is just gonna help me to kind of like remember the size, because now we can use it as a template, because now what I can do up here is, I know if I drill all of this away, then I'll be creating another similar sized room. Go ahead and make this an open door. Leaving the door open is relevant because it does take a small amount of time to pass through the door, and so that saves a little bit of time each day. Sometimes you do want to shut the door though. Like if you don't want something to get inside of there, like, oh, here we go. So every 3 or 4 days, this printing pod gains enough electricity or charge, that's what this is right here, this little part here, that we're allowed to pick an item. So these are the items we can pick. We can either get a resource, in this case coal, or we can get some people. Now, building is interesting, but I don't want a farter, flatulent. Nah, I'm just gonna go coal. Now, the more people you get, the more oxygen they breathe, the more food they need, etc. You know, it's slow. It's like I'm someone who doesn't play. I don't need to play that quickly. So now what we're gonna do is go into here and drill through this. I do not want to drill the oxalite because the oxalite gives us oxygen, and as a result, it's if we drill through it, it'll still give you oxygen, but it loses a lot. Okay, so now we are now officially on a limited amount of oxygen. Fortunately, we should have enough oxygen for another day or two, and that should be more than enough time for us to produce our own supply of oxygen. And like I said, we can use this as a template for what the next building is going to look like. So this is going to be our oxygen chamber. Well, this is going to be like this room here is going to be a multi-purpose room. Like it's not going it's not going to have a specific room assignment like the other areas. Let's take a look at the gas overlay. Yeah, the gas is thinning out. You want it to be bright blue. But then we'll be able to fix that very shortly. So we'll put the oxygen diffuser here. And then I'm probably going to put some batteries. I like to leave a bit of space in between them. So I'll probably put 1 battery there temporarily. This is the basic battery. It's very primitive. But like, we just need to kind of get things rolling at the moment. And they will have to continue constructing in this direction. What I might do is... No, I can't skip it because we're going to run wires. Wires can pass through our man-made tiles, but they can't pass through organic tiles. So we'll just have to let them continue with this. Okay, so I'm going to have 2 generators. This is where the batteries are going to be. So we're going to have 1 here and 1 there. Let me make sure that's correct. Yep, I like to leave a little bit of spacing in between them. And then the next thing is going to be the research station will go here. A little bit of space in between them. I like to have the space because if I want to build more things, then I don't have to constantly rearrange them. So oxygen's getting a little thin, so we're going to cancel all of this and prioritize this. And I can tell because they're holding their breath at the moment. And it's like I said, oxygen's getting very thin at the moment, so we're just going to go ahead and get this going, get this powered up. So they're on the manual generator right now. And now what we can do is connect this to the oxygen diffuser, build a few last pieces of wiring, Okay. And also, we need to set priorities here. This is a very important thing. We must not run out of oxygen, so that's going to be an 8. These are going to be 6s. They're more important than average, but, like, you know. Okay, so now this thing is pumping out oxygen, and we can see that this red unbreathable section is going to start getting chased away. I'm pausing the game in order to get some new assignments. Just like this. Okay. You can already see a big difference coming in here, like a lot of breathable air. This is carbon dioxide. The dark black gas is carbon, so, you know, not a lot we can do about that. It'll filter out over time. We'll make something to help encourage it, but one thing at a time. Next up, we need a research station. A little bit of space in between as usual. We'll hook that up. These batteries are very inefficient. They don't carry a lot of charge, and they generate a lot of heat, which is bad. So we're going to try to get out of these batteries as quickly as possible. Eventually, we'll be cranking out enough oxygen that we will basically pressurize the base, meaning the base will hit its maximum gas capacity, which is good. And like I said, it's going to have this very wholesome looking, you see this very bright, wholesome looking color. That means that there's a dense amount of oxygen in here. These darker areas mean there's some oxygen, and then the red areas mean that there is either a non-breathable gas, or the oxygen is so thin that it's like a trace amount of oxygen. So oxygen atomically is heavier than carbon dioxide, and what that means is carbon dioxide will have a tendency to sink downwards into the lower parts of the base because as far as a gas goes, it weighs more. And the game does take that into consideration. So the oxygen will rise and the carbon dioxide will fall. In the beginning, you typically dig out these things that you might call like carbon pits in order to give a place for the carbon dioxide to flow into. Okay, so they're gonna get started, and the first thing we're gonna do is, now that we have the research station, we are gonna research the more advanced battery. That's the first thing I want. This is the power regulation. Now, this is gonna overload them with some tasks, but that's fine. It's not that big of a deal. I'm just gonna let them continue on with what they are doing at the moment, because we just wanna focus on, getting these basic things out of the way. This battery, because it has so low capacity, they're gonna have to constantly jump on it. Like I said, it's not a big deal. We will be replacing them with like much more advanced batteries pretty soon. All we gotta do is wait for this research to complete. Researching also makes the character smarter, and being smarter means they gain their skills quicker. In fact, I can begin adjusting their priorities. So you are gonna be the researcher, and no one else is gonna research. Only you. No one else gets the research. You are the farming and ranching person, so I can go over here to quickly disable them. You are the only person allowed to farm and ranch. You are going to be encouraged to build. Everyone is allowed to build, but you're going to be encouraged to build, and you're also going to be the person who is encouraged to attack and destroy innocent creatures. So the research is nearly done. There we go. So we just unlocked a skill, or a tech item. As you can see right there, it's filled up. Like, that would be the progress bar. And so now what we can do, the first thing I'm going to do is see what we unlock. So we unlocked wire bridges, switches, and jumbo battery. That's what I care about. I want jumbo battery. I'm going to shut this off temporarily. And that's because they're just going to constantly run through it. Stop. Just, okay, never mind. I'll do it this way. Turn these off. 2 jumbo batteries. Wait, did I do that? I think I did it wrong. 1, 2. Yep, we fit it wrong. Not a big deal. We can fix it. I can get very picky about the shape of things. 1 here, 1 there. There we go. Bam, bam. Connect up the wires. Now, the jumbo batteries, not only do they have more capacity, better than double, because the jumbo batteries are twice as big as the standard battery, but they have more than double the capacity. They also discharge slower. Turn all of these back on. There we go. So the higher capacity, also, batteries leak energy over time, and these ones are more efficient, so they don't leak their energy as quickly, and they also don't generate as much heat. These ones generate 1.25 kilo DTUs, and these ones here generate the same. Okay, so they generate the same, but I would have to build 2 of these, so they're basically twice as efficient, because you would have to build 2 batteries to even kind of compete. And now we're gonna have plenty of electricity. This will be able to easily run all night long. Now, while they're doing that, I can assign them another research, and I will probably go for... Food. Food is our next issue. And that means I'm gonna finish this room, and I can start working on this room here. I'm not going to drill through the heavy-duty granite. Igneous rock and granite, I'm going to leave it there. And that's because it acts as natural insulation from the hot. So if I hit the temperature overlay, we can see it's much... This is like this is colder than room temperature at about, I don't know, 75 degrees. So a little chillier than room temperature. That's actually really nice. That's like an ideal temperature. Over here, it's like over 100 degrees, 111 here. This rock here is resistant to temperature change, so it's protecting our base a little bit from heat. So I don't want to encourage things to get any hotter than they already are. Or that, you know, basically, so I'm gonna leave them there until I'm ready to deal with it. Okay, so we have our first promotions. Let's go ahead and get that done. So, promotions, that's what that little symbol there is. So I'm gonna go ahead and hit that. And Lyra has a promotion. I think digging is more important right now, so I'm gonna specialize her in digging. And the reason I wanted her to have an interest, now I can give her any skill I want as long as she qualifies for it, but if she has a heart next to it, meaning that is a task she enjoys doing, it means that she gets +1 morale for every single one that I pick. And that's important because it says right here, morale need, the more skills that she levels up, the more demand for morale. Basically, it's kind of like she's like a higher paid employee, and so she will not accept a low morale situation. Now, most of them, like, you know, she has no skills, so she has no demand for morale. But as we, like, over here, I'm going to give Mima advanced researching, and you're going to see, bam, now Mima has demand for 1 morale, and the more of these they go, they get bigger too, like this one here. So this one, the tier 1 only give you 1 morale demand, tier 2 give you 2 morale demand each, tier 3 gives you 3 morale demand each. And that's why it's very important to have these, because they will give you +1 morale for each one you do. So it still generates more demand than morale, but it's way better than like over here, like the morale demand is huge and we're not gaining any, where a similar tier 3 skill, it would break even. So that's why it's so good. Also, I'm going to give them a hat, because the hat helps you figure out who is who. The hats are unlocked based on the skills they obtain. And now they're going to go over here, and this is how they learn their skills. Very nice. Now it's Mima's turn. So it gets the promotion. The promotion also comes with like character skill points, or like their characteristics become better, basically. Like, so now Mima has more science. So Mima is going to be more effective. Mima is going to research things faster, and any other things that Mima does, because the science skill is higher, it just means that Mima is going to master those skills quicker. This is also a pretty good thing because this gives you athletics, like running on the treadmill levels up your athletics, and athletics is really important because it causes you to run faster, and this game is all about getting the maximum amount of stuff done per second. So like right there, I believe that was an athletics level up. So let me go ahead and choose farming. Ranching requires a little bit of farming, and Marie is going to be handling both of them. So let me go ahead and give her hat. And there we go with the farming hat. This is where we're going to be doing our farming. So we just unlocked farming. That's perfect. I might not assign anything new. So farming gave us the algae terrarium. The plant box, that's what we want. The plant box is really nice. The compost bin. I don't think I'll assign it because, like, right now, basically, when Mima is doing research, Mima isn't helping with construction. Okay, so we got another option. Supplying, doctoring, and digging. Supplying and digging, maybe. Digging, decorating, and tidying. Interesting. Noodle arms is bad with digging, because digging requires your physical strength. So I think I'm just gonna go with this little hatchling. Yeah, I'm not quick to like just start upgrading things and expanding, because like I said, we need more food. Like our food, we're not even like, we're not even building a sustainable amount of food or anything. So, I'm not in a rush. Like, I'm willing to wait for a duplicant to appear that has really good stats, but eventually I'll get impatient and just start taking people in. But yeah, so with Mima not on the research station, it's just one more person drilling and building. So, like, just because you can give people... Basically, just because you can assign people orders doesn't necessarily mean you should. Sometimes you want to just let them catch up with these other tasks. And I believe that's all we're going to have time for today. This is going to be the first episode. Feel free to ask questions. If you like this game and you're like, wow, I'm feeling very overwhelmed, not surprising. This is a very challenging game, but it's a very rewarding game. So if you have any questions of how to play the game, you can ask me on YouTube, but you can also, a better way to do it would be to get on my Discord. My Discord is really the best way to get into contact with me. You can chat with me on Discord, and eventually I'll be streaming this, and the best way to be notified on it will be through Discord. So, yeah, I hope you enjoy it. I hope a lot of people watch the episodes, because I really love playing Oxygen Not Included, but that's going to be the end of today's episode. Welcome to Oxygen Not Included's DLC, Spaced Out, and thank you for watching the eventual conclusion of the Oceania series. Anyways, let me know what you think down in the comments section. Like the video if it was entertaining. Subscribe for future Oxygen Not Included Spaced Out content. And of course, remember that you don't have to be good to get good.